get up. This thing's a monster. And I don't mean a Ducati monster. It's bigger. This engine is bigger than my Goldwing 6-cylinder engine. It's bigger than a BMW engine. It's way bigger than a Harley V-twin engine.
I bid you welcome.
This thing is 2458 cc's. To give you some perspective, my Goldwing is 1800 cc's, or roughly 112, 113 cubic inches. Harley makes a V-twin that's 117 cubic inches. This beast behind me is 150 cubic inches. Now you can do all kinds of things to an engine to make it fast, to give it torque, to give it horsepower, but to get both, there's no replacement for displacement. And this has more than any other production motorcycle available today. This one is available at NOCO Power Sports here in Fort Collins. So stop in by while it's hot, because even my best friend wants to buy it. So let's go take it for a ride. If I can. Let's go hear this.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Sorry, just had to hear that. Very low. I'm waiting for a truck or trailer to get out of the path over there. That's interesting. Kickstand's down. Me and my stupid kickstand.
The brain cells are being reactivated by an atomic fission produced in the cyclotron.
Find our friction zone. Right where it should be. Friction zone is right when I let go of my hand. That's the way a bike should be. Braking. Toe down is a little hard. I have a key in a bad spot.
What are we going to do about it? I'll tell you what I am going to do about it.
Better. This gargantuan beast from the depths of the Triumph plant in Hinckley, England, is the new and improved 2021 Rocket 3R. It has even more power than the 2014 model I rode some years ago that was 2300 cc's. But this one is actually 88 pounds lighter, turns much more nimbly, and you don't need to be Frankenstein's monster anymore to reach both grips. How did they possibly make a more powerful engine? I blame atomic energy exposure.
future will bring, no man can say. But one fact is certain. Mankind stands at the crucial crossroads of history, the threshold of a new era, the atomic age.
That's the only way to explain how a bike that handles so well can also be so powerful. As I shift through the gears, I at first thought they were kind of short. Then I realized the engine is so effortlessly covering ground and bringing me up to the speed limit that I didn't know I had already surpassed it. Some small bikes, like my Fury, are very active, like a yippy small dog. The faster it moves, the bumpier the ride, the noisier the engine, etc. Well, this bike is King Kong. He just strolls through the concrete jungle, covering miles without any extra effort or noise. This bike is brand new, so I'm going to baby it on this ride so the next owner won't get an abused machine. Here is where I will fail you though. I'm not even taxing this engine in this review. If I took it north on the interstate, I could get it to 80 plus for you, but I'm keeping the miles low for the new owner. Still, this much I know. The pull is linear. The pull is monstrous. There is never a drop in power. It's relentless. This beast has more torque at takeoff than most motorcycles will ever have. With 165 horsepower and 163 foot-pounds of torque, it is perfectly balanced for complete world domination. To poorly explain those numbers using a cute phrase, horsepower is how fast you hit the wall, and torque is how far you move it. The only creature I've ridden with more power is a Boss Haas with a Chevy Stroker 383 V8. But that was a custom machine, much like Frankenstein's monster, and would have cost me about a quarter of my mortgage at the time. The clutch pull is moderate. What do you expect for such a big engine? The ergonomics are aggressive on this R model, but can be changed, or you can get the GT model with much better ergonomics for longer rides. The brakes do their job perfectly. I can easily accomplish a U-turn with this new frame. The only complaint I have with this bike is that I have to return it soon. Now let's park it and go over the creature features. The tires are custom Avons, a 150 and a 240. The brakes are dual rotor Brembo, but it doesn't stop there, no pun intended. Okay, maybe a little one. I say it because this is the only bike I've seen with a Brembo master cylinder and Brembo clutch reservoir too.
For the people of the West, skilled in the uses of science and technology, the atomic age is profoundly significant.
Triumph gave you the whole system, not a Frankenstein mashup. The fuel tank is 4.8 gallons, but how far it takes you will depend on that throttle hand and the ride mode you use. In sport mode with a heavy hand, it may turn into a vampire.
I never drink. Why?
The seat is 30.4 inches, and the bike is narrow, which means this 5'10" rocket technician is able to flat-foot it. And there, between my legs, is that glorious engine. Don't let the size intimidate you. It is perfectly controlled at low speeds. But grabbing a handful of throttle may have you wanting your mummy. Now note the massive radiator and the not very massive air intake. Although the R model has mid controls, they also feature these hidden mounting locations for forward controls, just in case you miss being folded in half like on a Harley V-Rod muscle. But does it have passenger pegs?
Many Many scientists answer yes, but they pause and add a grim warning.
There's a single rear disc in the back and this massive drive shaft. That means no chain or belt to ever have to fuss with. Just occasionally change the drive shaft fluid. Here is the ignition switch, plainly marked. The radiator fill cap is deceptive. It looks like a gas cap. Fortunately, it is not easy to open to the uninitiated. I didn't figure it out. You really don't want your kids opening it up by accident, so they made it tricky. Your left hand controls the rider modes and cruise control. Your right hand has a single multi-position switch that might take a minute to get used to. I said single multi-position switch. It also has a home button for the menu and a hazard switch. The display will show you in large numbers your RPM and speed, and many other items on the sides, like timers and especially ride modes, which I'll let you discover for yourself. As scary as this is, it's time to give the bike back now. So keep your chin up, go buy this bike, and then, dare I say it, go rule the biking world?